यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 23 of 14th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Udasina Vadasinaha Gunairyo na Vichalyate Guna Vartanta Yatyeva Yovatethati Nengati. Bhagavan Krishna is explaining Gunatita Lingam from the verse number 22 and 23. Because we received a question from Arjuna. Bhagavan received a question from Arjuna after learning about Gunaha. And we saw elaborately the detailed explanation for what are the gunam in 5 aspects. Lakshanam bandhana prakaram. Then lingam gati phalam. Lakshanam means definition of gunas. So what exactly the gunas? And bandhana prakaram means what? How do they bind us? The communication between one guna to another guna. Now guna means what? Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. The perception of the world completely changes after learning about these gunas. Before learning this chapter or before Bhagavad Gita, what I am talking about, the perception towards world which we had, it was totally different after learning Shastra. The perception which we have, that's completely different. Before that, we were thinking, about the world bothers us. We were making ourselves as though we are separate individual body-mind complex with consciousness. But now we are able to separate consciousness principle and this anatma, which is known as matter principle. So now my body, mind, sense complex, including buddhi, everything, it goes with the matter principle. Now the matter principle is what is nothing but experience in my life. Though the matter principle has got its own existence. You look at the mountain. When we look at the mountain, so how much the weight the mountain may contain? Do we think about it? The mountain is there, that's all. We don't consider about its weight or its diagram, how long it is. We don't bother about, because we are not sustaining the weight of the mountain. But it has got its own existence. Water has got its own existence. Air has got its own existence. But we are bothered about our weight of our body, because it depends or it affects our health. Okay, therefore we are very conscious about our weight. We are not conscious about the weight of other object. Why? Because we don't bother about other object, but we experience both equally. So my weight is experienced by me. So my weight is experienced by me how? As an objectified object. Could you understand what I say? Swamiji, why are you bringing in the beginning itself very complicated things? No. The world is nothing but of experience. That's what the truth is. World is nothing but of experience, including our body, mind and sense complex. the thinking about me, experience about my emotions, experience about my health or ill health, or experience of the world, experience of our relatives, enemies, our friends. Everything is nothing but experience. The experience which is received by our mind, which is reshuffled with the emotions. When I think about my lovable one, I get, different mentality. My mind becomes happiest, joyful. But when we think about our enemies, or when we think about someone who is not connected with us, we experience in different way. We also react and respond in different way. Now, world takes a main part in our life because that's the matter principle. Now, the matter principle do have their own gunas, respective gunas, sattva guna and rajo guna and tamo gunas. Now, we have learned by this chapter the world is with gunas. Those gunas can be identified by us. That's what the message from Bhagavan Krishna. Krishna says, you just don't worry about the form and color or quality of the objects. You stick with this idea. The world is nothing but endowed with three gunas. Now, world means what? Three gunas. And every guna has got its own characteristic. Therefore, we learned the lakshanam of every guna. So, sattva guna has got prakashatmakam. Sattva guna which has the clarity in its own nature. When we are able to be endowed with sattva guna, we will be owning what? Clarity. The clarity will make, it will bring the desire, or it will demand to be endowed with knowledge-oriented life. The life which is engaged with the jnanendriyas. And the fruit of that and gati of that, gati means what? The flow. So when we are endowed with the sattva guna, we need not worry about the distance. Therefore, I told once you fix the destinations, what destination means, a goal, that goal has to be sattvic. Then what we need not worry about anything that brings sattva guna. So sattva guna will be endowed with, or is endowed with, light, brightness, clarity, that will allow us to select goal properly, means properly. It will bring proper attitude. This is what the nature of sattva guna. Now lingam, bandhana prakaram, gatihi, phalam. Okay. First, lakshana must be aware. These 5 things, which we have completed by verse number 5 to 18. We have to study again and again, because this knowledge is not given by the science. The science, it brings so many technical terms which we are unaware. So if at all we are aware, we cannot use in normal day-to-day life. We can create a fan, fridge, or light, or flight, or grinder, or mixie, or car, bus, all facilities to the physical aspects. But that knowledge won't bring the complete satisfaction. It won't convert my karma, phala, into ash. Therefore, this knowledge, my God. So how our rishis can give an infrastructure for this teaching? It's a marvelous, fantastic, excellent. We have to absorb it and we have to assimilate properly. Now the world is nothing but 3 gunas. Okay, that 3 gunas, they have interconnections. They interact with each other, because 3 gunas always they keep changing within themselves. Sattva guna is connected with Rajo guna. Rajo guna connects with Tamo guna. For example, when you do meditation, how long you can sit for the meditation? Our indriyas, our body will crave for activity. In meditation classes which I organize, I could see the people, they cannot sit more than half an hour. If at all I am asking them to sit more than half an hour, when I leave them, means when I conclude the sessions, I could see, they are running towards the outside. to have some fresh air or to let the activity come out. That's the pressure which is created inside. Therefore, Sattva Guna never, it keeps continuing. I mean, it cannot be with us forever. It will bring Rajoguna. When you become active, definitely you will be tired later on. Tamoguna comes automatically. That's what the guna variation, interaction with each other. Guna vartante, guna functions, guna interacts, and one guna brings another. Therefore, Bhagavan says, you have to be careful, my dear, what kind of world that you need. You have the choice to select now. After having the informations, knowledge about the gunas, we have the options and we do have the capacity to reshuffle or to convert or to transcend guna. We can select the gunas by selecting the goal, by selecting the means for that goal, and by selecting food, selecting activities. So many technicals is given by Lord Krishna in this chapter, and he is going to deal the same subject in different way in the chapter number 17. Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Here Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Gunatraya means the divisions of three gunas. There Shraddha Traya Vibhaga, divisions of Shraddha. Not only Shraddha, there are so many things which are required for our life, will be introduced and explained well by Lord Krishna. As I told you already, Krishna never leaves with vague method of education. He brings complete infrastructure to us. Now the world is nothing but three gunas. We can select. Swamiji, we don't have capacity to select because the body is already been selected. Yes, of course, this body is selected already. Selected by whom? Selected by whom, my dear? Selected by my karma phala. Yes, that is what the proper understanding. This body is by my karma phala. But the body never remains as it is, as it was born. It keeps bringing, changes in it. That's what the nature of matter principle. Now, body is nothing but three gunas. Now, when you are informed about the detail of three gunas, then what? Now you are capable to change. If you want to get a proper life, happiest life, we can select one guna among these three gunas which is connected with happiness. What guna it is? Sattva guna. Sattva guna is the preferable to be endowed with throughout the life. But it is impossible because all other gunas also will come into the scene now and then. But maintaining ourselves in sattva, nitya sattvastho bhava. It was the message which was given in the second chapter itself by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. The same teaching is suitable for us. That's what, nitya sattvastho bhava. By learning the detail of these gunas will help us to understand the current situation with our body, mind and sense complex. Now body, if it is endowed with tamoguna, it cannot get a proper goal. It cannot set proper goal. Therefore the divisions. So if we want to endow with the people who are sattvic, then we can have a happiest experience in our life. If we are endowed with the people who are predominated by rajoguna, then what would be the benefit out of it? Arguments, competitions, and not only that, all kinds of disrespect and distress, stress, everything will come. And one more thing I have to tell here, say don't feel bad, I'm not talking about personally anyone. When we fix marriage, okay, whether it is arranged marriage or love marriage, it doesn't matter. We just judge a person by his character. Now we should have this knowledge. Character doesn't remain as it is. It brings changes. After marriage, so one person is interested in Gita. And another person, he doesn't like at all Gita and Swamijis and Acharyas. Now the problem begins. The gunas won't continue as they are. Therefore, how do we select the marriage and all? Therefore, we are sticking with little bit this astrology. And sticking with astrology means we should not stick with astrology forever. Every day we should not depend on astrology. What is the changes are taking place in my horoscope? We need not to. When we make a big decision like that, then you can check up with the horoscope, If you have a good astrologer, that's also fortune, to meet with a good astrologer who is not money-minded, who is not going to threaten you by saying the planetary positions. Therefore, people worried and afraid to go to an astrologer. I have seen many people who are victimized drastically by threatening them. Something was told negatively. They brought their horoscope and I made them very clear. So everything is a game of three gunas. Now when you learn it, you need not have the horoscope also. You need not depend on astrology, that's what I want to say. But when you select a person, so with whom you are going to continue for at least 30, 40, 50 years, we have to depend on something which can help us to find out the nature of that fluctuation may be there with that person. But at least we can have a kind of an idea. But horoscope has to be with a proper time and birthplace, okay? That detail has to be proper. But if at all you don't have faith on astrologer or horoscope, doesn't matter. Just Ishvara Anugraham. Just we have to have the Shraddha. Therefore, the topic comes in the 17th chapter, the last chapter. In fact, the last chapter is the 17th chapter, but the 18th chapter, which is a complete mixer, means it's a kind of summary of whole Bhagavad Gita. There we give priority and importance to Shraddha. So the life is in my hand, means the life is in your hand. Matters are endowed with three gunas. Now I have to select which guna that I would like to live with. If I select Sattva guna, means we can begin from our food, Sattvic aharas, Sattvic words, Sattvic dress, Sattvic action, activities, Sattvic goal. When you select everything in Sattvic way, what will they give? The happiest moment, and it will bind with satsanga. Your life is going to be happy, happy, happiest. Okay, we will come to the verse today which we have started with. When Arjuna asked the question had three kinds of questions in it. What is the lingam of Gunatitaha? Lingam means indication. So how can we come to know whether he has become Gunatitaha? Or how do I understand about myself I have become a Gunatitaha? Then the next topic is what? Gunatitasya acharaha. Achara means conduct. That how I can measure myself and what kind of the nature the person will own when he interacts with the world. During transaction, what kind of the acharaha, the conduct which he will own while performing dharma karya. That is the second. There alone we are now. Okay. Sama dukkha sukha swasthaha sama loshtashma kanchanaha. Then finally, gunatitasya upayaha sadhanam. What is the method? What is the procedure to become a gunatitaha? So among these three explanations, the first Gunatita Lingam is explained with the help of these two verses, 22nd and 23rd. Now we are in 23rd verse. Udasinavad asinaha gunair yaha na vichalyate. The person who is indifferent to the situations, whether the situations are favorable or non-favorable. No, he is indifferent with that. He maintains the samatvam, equanimity in his mind. Gunair yaha na vichalyate, who is not shaken by the guna. So once we are aware about the nature of the gunas, function of the gunas, benefit of the gunas, or flow of the gunas, we will be completely alert. The person who is very alert with his gunas. Now guna means what? The emotions are endowed with gunas. The ideas, our goals, the lifestyles, actions. Actions means nothing but gunas. The awareness about everything. The awareness regarding matter principle. That is the simplest way to say. The awareness about matter principle. In matter principle, whatever it is there, everything is nothing but matter principle. Everything you think except the soul, except the self, is matter principle. Okay? Therefore, the mind and buddhi I am talking about, the both of them will own a kind of alertness. Buddhi becomes so alert, it will become very careful with the gunas. Which guna is endowed with now? I mean, my buddhi is occupied by which guna? This is how we become conscious about our buddhi. So my buddhi, now is it endowed with sattva guna or rajo guna or tamo guna? So now and then, in every second we have to become alert. This is what known as, a proper meditation. Establishing himself, abiding in self, in that understanding, I am gunathita. That's what, establishing myself in Brahman. Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tektva karotiyah lipyatena sapapena padmapatramivambhasa. Then the next words itself, Bhagavan says, it was in the 5th chapter. There itself he says, Kaye navacha manasa kevalairindriyairapi. So only gunas are existing in my body, mind and sense complex, not in me. That is the clue which we can identify with. Now we have lived long years with body, mind and sense complex. Now we have to live with ourself, identifying properly with ourself, in ourself, as ourself. Okay, that's what Bhagavan brings. Guna vartante ityeva. They interact with each other. If mind is endowed with sattva guna, buddhi is endowed with sattva guna, it will interact only sattva guna people. Therefore, this is a game of a guna, not mine. Now, Jnani's state is something unique. He need not to fix a goal at all. Now, goal is fixed long back. So, my fortunate, I learned from two great acharyas, Bhagavad Gita. So, one among them, he used to say that the Jnani life is like, it's like a 5-series cricket match. So, when India wins 3 matches in the beginning itself, the remaining 2 matches are played well. How they play? Now that 2 matches, 2 series, the 2 matches are played with the relaxedness. They are not restless, but they would play well, but no fluctuation, no fear in his mind. That's what the style of a Jnani's life. So Jnani will live with relax, because already he has won, means already he has achieved what to be achieved. Now play only for a joy with a joy. That's what the Lakshana of a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means a liberated one. Okay, so with this I stop here. We will continue from next session tomorrow. May Almighty provide more and more capacity to assimilate these kinds of knowledge, which are very, very valuable. Nowhere it is available in this world except our Sanatana Dharma. Let us see in the next session. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.